Deadboy, you see my tier list, right? You have a topic in mind yet?
I ain't even know what tier list you send. I mean, I don't. I'll just give you my Hofstra ranking. Fucking I think Gyu's the strongest. I think Iguro's
I
second.
agree with that.
Iguro's second. Gyomei third. I don't really care about who the fuck is like fourth and fifth, but Gyu first, Iguro second, Gyomei third.
I think Gyomei and Iguro are interchangeable. So I don't really have nothing on that. I'll just resend it, and if you have any topic, you know.
I mean, do you only do Demon Slayer, bro? Like, do you quite literally only do Demon Slayer?
I mean, I do no other inverse.
Let me see.
It depends. What other inverse do you do?
I can do a lot, bro. I could do JJK and Naruto, Bleach. Do a lot, bro. Just say some shit. I'll find a scan for it.
Oh my god, Milky, you have JJK arguments? Because if he doesn't want to do Demon Slayer, I might just have to do JJK, even though I've never done that shit before.
But I gotta open this shit. I'm also watching the game at the same time, so it'll take me a minute to respond. I'm watching some shit. But yeah, ask Milky if he has JJK arguments for you. If he does, then let me know. That nigga just airball layup, bro. Whack.
No way this nigga's still playing NBA 2K23, bro. Like, you're not real.
I'm not playing. I'm watching the summer league.
Oh, what team?
Alright.
I don't know. I'll watch the summer league. That
I'm watching I'm just I like certain players. I'm watching Lakers versus Heat. Cause I want to watch Jalen Hood-Schifino and shit. See how he played. Then I'm about to turn on the Hornets later and watch Brandon Miller and shit. But what's the word? Let me look at your tier list. But in the meantime, I ask him if he has any shits.
Yeah, he sent me his scan survey. You have a JJK tier list, then?
No, I don't. I just have takes. I don't really. JJK's not a verse where you need to have a tier list. I just have takes. I could take a lot of my shit. Like, either so like, I get on something that I'm adding. I think original like Sukuna in his original body beats on Gojo. Not like the one that's fighting right now.
I don't know if there's a way to verify that, but I don't read JJK, so you have to. What do you think about Toji versus Yuta?
You said Toji versus Yuta?
Yeah.
Toji wins.
Okay. What do you think about Kenjaku versus Yuta?
It's not a fight. Kenjaku's third strongest in the series. Not a fight at all.
What about Hikari versus Yuta?
Hikari slams.
Milky.
I think Kenjaku beats
like
everybody.
Milky?
I think Kenjaku beats everyone that's not Gojo or Sukuna.
Yeah. Milky wants
It's F and 4-5.
Alright, we could do Toji versus Toji versus Kenjaku.
That's spite, but okay.
This nigga wants me to do it, so fuck it. Why haven't you pinged
F and 4-5. They got a hammer. Bitch that made it out from Louisiana. That nigga tried to dunk that fucking boy just now. Let me know when you're ready.
Give me the argument, Milky. You need to argue a lot of shit.
Does anyone else here do JJK?
Ask him for. What do you think of Mahito versus Jackpot Akari?
I don't like Mahito topics. but I don't like Mahito topics. I don't like it. I mean, I can take Hikari though. I think Jack Hikari wins obviously, but if you just, I mean, I could take Hikari. Fuck it. I don't think.
Okay.
I think mentality is a troll.
Alright, we could do that.
You're gonna do Hikari versus Mahito?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. That food downstairs is my good as a. Let me know when you're ready. I can go first. My scale's pretty easy.
I didn't know if I should be on the positive mood. Milk, you better
You hear
not.
me? Let me know. Let me know you're ready, cause this is my scale should be pretty easy.
I am. Yeah. Actually, can I go first?
Go ahead, bro.
Okay. Mm. Um. Um. I.
It's a nice look ahead pass.
So where should I? This shit is so fucking confusing.
I mean, he gave you a weird topic. Are you talking about ISB Mahito?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what he means by Mahito, like the 120% shit, like his true
Okay.
form. That shit.
Yeah. Okay.
Dog, what is this shit, Milky? Yeah, I'm not about to do it again. You have no topics for the Naruto shit? I mean, not Naruto, the Demon Slayer shit. This nigga is confusing.
No, only have my Hashira rank. I don't. You can do a less confusing topic. That's like a confusing topic. Like you could do the Gojo versus Sukuna one. It's easier to understand. You just use Gojo statements. I just use Sukuna statements. You just argue off of that. They all basically have the same statements.
You know what? We could just do. You said you have Iguro above Gyomei, right?
Mm.
You have Iguro above Gyomei?
Mm-hmm.
We can run that. Give me 1 second.
Mm.
Guys.
It's FNF 4-5. They got a hammer. Bitch, we done made it out from Louisiana. Mm. I never took Gyomei on that topic, bro. I always thought Iguro. If I took Gyomei on that topic, then I was trolling you.
Alright. Look, fun I go first. We just get these scans real quick.
But who's judging? I don't like to start without just having a judge. Who's judging?
Would you like to propose someone? Or you want me to go get someone?
Who's in the audience? From what I know, Ghetto Jin can judge. As if he's fine with it.
Uh, um, Ghetto, you wanna judge? Is this nigga typing in chat? I don't know. I'm gonna get. Tell me if Ghetto Jin agrees to judge. I'm finna get scanned.
Jen can judge. Yeah, drag Jen up here.
Yeah.
This FNF 05, it got a hammer. Bitch, I done made it out from Louisiana. Man, my niggas will blame me. Yeah, Jen's up here, bro.
I'm just gonna get the scans now.
Good. I mean, I had my argument ready. This one I could just go first.
Well, sure, you can go first if you want.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty simple. Whoever fought, what's the nigga's name? Muzan. Towards the beginning of the fight, would just have the better feats because Muzan progressively gets slower and weaker throughout the fight. So whoever fought him from the beginning, hence why I have Gyu and Iguro before Gyomei, would obviously be fighting the stronger stronger and faster Muzan. So if Gyomei just appears later and then he fights that Muzan, then he's obviously having worse feats. You want me to show you that?
No, I know what you're talking about. I'll just ask you why is that Muzan stronger and faster when we just get into that.
Yeah, because he gets actually. See, most times I would have to like go into depth of what time period and shit. I don't have to do that. Thankfully, Demon Slayer does that for us. I'm gonna go give you the scans. So he makes it apparent. He says, "No, I'm the one who's slow. That has to be it. Otherwise, this one-on-one duel would not lasted this long. I would never fail to finish someone twice." And then he says, to reaffirm this, he was like, the aging drug isn't a deal for the second effect. What we do is we age Muzan 50 years per minute. Obviously, if you age someone, the more older you get, the more brittle and slower you get, obviously. My power is being chipped off to stave away the aging progression. That's why I was having trouble with those demon hunters earlier, which is referring to the pillars. Tamayo used the drug on me several hours ago. So 4 hours, nearly 5.
Wait,
So
where are you sending
whoever...
this?
I thought you already knew. I'll send it though. Send all of it. I'm about to send them in. Where's the scans chat? Do we have a scans chat?
Yep, there is a scan shot in here.
Okay. And let me send this one too. Alright, I'm about to send it. So you just see details that like he literally says why he's been fighting, like why he's been able to have one-on-one fights with these demon hunters. He gives us the reason why. It's because he's getting slower and weaker, and he's getting older. So if he's aging 50 years per minute, he's like turning into a human. If he's aging 50 years per minute, obviously you would know that the older person is, the more brittle and slower they get. Right here.
Okay.
Then obviously you would know that there's a significant amount of time before Gyomei comes, because he'd still be fighting Kokushiba.
Do you know when these statements are made? Like the two skins? Do you know when these statements are made?
It's during the Tanjiro, when he's fighting Tanjiro.
Yeah, so Tanjiro is after all the Hashiras get blitzed. You know that, right?
Yeah. Do you know why they get blitzed?
They get blitzed because Muzan speeds up, essentially.
Yeah, but he does it faster. He does it. Hold on. But let me explain why he gets blitzed. Because he accesses like a stronger and faster attack. I'm never arguing that they are stronger than Muzan. That's completely retarded. I'm just saying that people have better feats upon Muzan. So whoever performed better against the earlier Muzan would be stronger. I'll never argue that they're stronger than him. I think Muzan is stronger than him, but he details why he was struggling to kill them and struggling to finish them off was based off the fact that he was getting weaker and slower. So he speeds up because he does a fiercer attack. It's literally stated.
Okay, Deadboy.
He's still progressively getting weaker.
Okay, so you realize that he didn't make this statement like any time when he was fighting the Hashira until after they're all down. So using
Are
this,
you
we can
not?
just like wait. Using this, we can just infer that the going down or the speed decrease is just so minuscule that he did not notice it until later in the fight. He was like, "No, I'm the one who's getting slower," instead of
Um,
Tanjiro just getting faster. So you
that's
realize,
so.
oh, I'm
That's that.
slowing.
Hold
Wait,
on.
wait, I'm
Wait.
not done, sir.
I'm gonna
So
let you finish. Go ahead.
thank you. So he realizes that he's slowing down, but we know in Muzan's character that it's like apparent for him to point out traits or point out changes in his own body, which I can get those for you if you want. So
Okay.
he
Well,
consistently brings up changes that happens
Well, you
inside
kind of
of
like
him.
shotgunning me. You're kind of shotgunning me. Let me attack the first thing first. Your argument is completely flawed because unless you are the author and unless your interpretation holds more value than what the series of the manga pan I'm looking at directly tells me, directly the person who made the poison directly tells you the effects of it. Muzan then tells you how it's affecting him, when it affected him. So it doesn't matter when he noticed it or not. It's the fact that it's still happening. It's not minuscule at all, as he's aging 50 years per minute. So it wouldn't matter. That's just when they wanted to present it. That's like this is not a this interpretation isn't a defeater. It's just like it's simply explaining what part of the story Muzan just explained it. It's a plot detail. Literally is all it is. It doesn't matter what time period he would have noticed he's getting poisoned. The fact is he's still getting poisoned. It's a plot detail. It doesn't matter when he said it. It's the fact that the poison occurred at this point of time, and then it's still been progressively working. So unless your interpretation can somehow denounce what the series shows us, then your argument is just completely defeated right then and there. Literally.
Okay, you done yet, right?
Yeah, I'm finished. I'm pretty sure that defeats what you just said.
Yeah. So Deadboy, like I was trying to tell you, right? Muzan is a character who was able to highlight changes in his body. If you want, again, I can show you that. So now that we know that Muzan changes, like he notices the own changes in his body, and he didn't notice this change until later in the fight, then it would be safe to assume that it's just a minuscule change.
That's yeah, it's not a safe assumption. All you said was your basis is Muzan notices that there's changes to his body. Well, you're not wrong. He notices there's a change like a what's the word? A change to his body. Again, the argument does not matter about what time dependent it is. It's the fact of the matter is, unless your argument denounces what the series tells us, which obviously you can't. They're not the author. We detail a aging drug is ideal the second effect. If we use what you created, Tamyo, then we can age Muzan by 50 years per minute. So the drug they use on him at the beginning of the fight has been aging him and turning him human 50 years per minute. That's why he directly says, that's why he even calls back to earlier. That's why I struggled with them earlier. So he's now, it doesn't matter when he makes the realization. That's true. It's in his character that he can make realizations what's happening to his body, but he made the realization. It doesn't matter when he does, it fits within his character. That doesn't have to be time dependent at all. It's directly right there in front of your face. Like the person that made the drug said it, the person that got affected by the drug said it, and then we obviously see why. It doesn't make sense. It's that easy, bro.
I'm gonna explain why it's time dependent. So the reason why it's time dependent, that boy, is because if the author wanted to highlight earlier how he's now getting fatigued and is slowing down, he would have made that claim earlier. It would have made more sense for that. So
Why?
now that it's way later in the fight
What?
that he's
Well, you
now
just made a claim.
slowing down,
Wait, we made a claim. Why?
why? Why would it be? Why would it make more sense to make that claim that he's?
Yeah. Why? Yeah. Why
slowing
do you
down
think it makes
earlier?
more sense? Why? Why?
Why? Because it would show us that he's progressively slowing down, and he knows that he's slowing down. If he
So
doesn't know this, if he doesn't notice this change in his body, then it being minuscule would make sense.
that doesn't answer my question. I asked for a definitive why. You just gave me an interpretation of the series. I'll just give you another interpretation. You just tell me which one. The judge can tell me which one makes more sense. Obviously, in shonen, the big bad villain's usually the strongest. It would make zero sense. That would weaken the villain if we know from the jump that the villain is weaker. So that's why these people are performing these certain feats. It makes more sense to me to why Muzan was able to even fight with these Hashiras, that he's been progressively getting slower and weaker, and they reveal that later on. It would take away from the dramatic effect of the whole fight if that's just revealed from us from the jump. So damn, we know Muzan is slower and weaker. Now, at the beginning of the fight, we can just think that these Hashras are this strong. Again, I don't want to get into narrative arguments because that's just retarded, but that's obviously what the author wanted to portray because that's what the author did. They didn't reveal this key plot thing, which most shonen authors don't do until the end, which makes more sense, actually. It doesn't make sense to give away your big, go ahead, your big game winner at the beginning of the fight. That makes zero sense. It makes zero sense. It just makes zero sense to me. So what you just said didn't actually make sense to me.
Deadboy.
So could you reiterate it to make it make sense to me?
Wait, let me just answer your question real quick. Deadboy, can you repeat yourself real quick? I want to make sure I don't strawman you. Repeat the initial thing you said.
Yeah. So what I initially said was, well, first, you didn't answer my why correctly or coherently. That's not a defeater to what I've been saying at all. You tried to give an interpretation to why you think an author should have put something, a key point of plot in his own story and try to make it so it makes sense to you. But I'm telling you, your interpretation does not make sense at all because a shonen villain, the big bad villain, is supposed to be the strongest villain. So from the jump, if we would have known that this villain was weaker, that's why these people can fight them. That would have took away against the dramatic, I guess, aspect of it. It makes more sense within shonen manga or in manga in general to give away your game winner, the reason why you're winning, towards the end of the fight. Like if I would have known from the jump that this nigga Muzan was weakened, and they told me that straight up, that you used a drug in him that just made him weaker, then it wouldn't make the series enjoyable. Because now I know, damn, this is how they're beating him. But then later on, that makes it way more interesting. Like, damn, these niggas drugged him, so that's how they even fighting him. That's what mangas do. They use suspense. They don't just throw out their heavy hitters at the jump. So that's just a defeater to, I guess, your argument is based off of like narrative interpretation. That's my interpretation, how I think they would interpret it. And the reason, even if you think my interpretation is wrong, it's directly what happens in the series. So I don't care. It's directly what happens. It's directly what we see.
Okay. All right, Deadboy. So when you brought up the point of it being less suspenseful. So
yeah,
right?
It's literally less suspenseful. Yeah.
If you're saying it's less suspenseful, the suspense comes from the fact that they're not even hanging with him from the start. They all say they're struggling. They say they can't keep up, and they even state that he's getting faster. So if you have Muzan getting faster, and he's progressively getting weaker, and they state that he's getting faster without knowing that he's also getting weaker, or that they state that he's faster than the point before then. Right? So at the start of the fight, Gyu was commenting on how don't get close to him. He's strong.
Do you understand my argument?
Yeah, I understand your argument.
So why are you bringing up power scaling due to Muzan? Do you know what I said at the beginning? At the beginning, I've told you already that Muzan in general is faster and stronger than him, right? That's what I told you. I'm never going to argue against that. Yeah, well, he's faster and stronger than them. The suspense would be the fact that they're even able to keep up. It would defeat what I'm viewing if I just would have known from the jump that he's weakened. So now they have a chance. Now I'm interested, like, damn, these niggas are this strong, they're able to keep up with him a little bit. But now if you would have just told me that from the jump, damn, it just takes away all the value of these characters because now I know why they're able to keep up. It makes more sense to why he's able to keep up. Because now, if I would have been told that from the jump, then everything will be so concrete to me. Now, he threw you for a loop to why Muzan's doing that shit right now. The reason why he gets faster is I've already explained it to you. His base stats are getting weaker and slower, but you can have access to faster techniques. The Chidori, you can be progressively getting weaker and slower, but the Chidori is obviously still faster than your other techniques. Like I said, from the jump, Muzan's already a considerable level above them. So this doesn't matter at all. It's not a defeater again.
Okay, Deadboy, if you believe that he's already a considerable level above them, but he's getting even progressively stronger or faster to their eyes, saying that, they're hanging at him with the start, and then they begin to start struggling, adding the suspense that, now they can't hang anymore. Muzan's getting stronger, damn. Then it wouldn't make sense for you to say that he's progressively getting weaker, or that he's just weak, or that there's feats on him is better earlier than the fact that he's getting stronger later too. Like, it does not make sense.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense to me, and obviously it makes sense to the author because that's what the author put. So I'm gonna just explain my argument the last time, and then we can move on because we've been You know,
Okay.
we've been just going in circles. So essentially, my argument is Muzan is stronger and faster than the Hashira. Right? That's my argument. I've never disagreed that. But Muzan's also getting slower throughout the fight because of the drug that's used within, him. He's aging 50 years per minute. He's gradually turning to a human 50 years per minute. He's getting slower and weaker as he states himself and the person that made the drug states himself. So that does not disregard the fact that Muzan can have access to faster techniques. If I have a technique that amplifies my speed, of course, even if I'm getting weaker and I'm already stronger than these people, they're going to think I'm getting faster. But in reality, the whole scope is I'm progressively getting weaker and slower, but I can have access to a faster technique. It's completely fine. It's literally completely fine. That's not a contradiction. Like I said with the Chidori example, right? Let's say if I got drugged before the fight and I'm already a little bit above you, but you're able to hang with me a little bit. Like I'm not one-shotting you, but then I have a technique that amplifies my speed. Of course, since I'm already faster than you, it's going to appear that I'm getting considerable amount faster, but that's just an amplification technique. This doesn't defeat the fact that you're getting slower and faster throughout the battle. So as I said, my argument would stand. Muzan is just completely getting slower and weaker throughout the battle, as he states himself. That's the reason why fucking they're even able to have this, even able to keep up with him without dying. That's what we can move on. Like I just repeated the same thing I've been saying. I just put it in more of like a easier way to understand. Let me see. Let me look at chat. I'm gonna look at that chat. But if you want, Jenny can give his judgment now. But he's getting faster while but he's also getting weaker in general. That's not what I'm saying, Ryan, at all. That's not what I'm saying at all, bro. I'm saying that, again, let me explain it again.
Alright, wait, give me a second.
Okay, good. But let me just explain it for the people that can. Let me explain to people that can. What's the word? So let me explain to people in the chat. You can get progressively slower and weaker, but based off the fact that he's already just a bit above them, if he does an amplifying technique that can amplify his stats, he's going to be amplified. I'm just talking to the chat. I'm not arguing it to you.
No, I'm not saying anything. I'm about to address what you said. Deadboy, you realize all he's doing is swinging his whips, right? There's no named attack. There's no speed amplifying attack.
Yeah. What whips he starts using? Yeah, you use the context. What whips he starts using?
I'm talking about the fact that he's still using his whips.
What whips does he start using?
What whips do he start using?
Yeah, for where they directly say his attacks are getting fiercer. What whips did he start using that he wasn't using earlier?
He used the other whips earlier. Wait.
He never used the thigh whips at the beginning of the fight. That's completely. You just lied. I wanted you to lie too. He never used the thigh whips. I'll show you the scans.
My damn sister will not leave me alone, bro.
You're fine, bro.
Alright, but Deadboy, the whips he starts using is the whips on his side. Not his thigh whips, just simple whips on his thigh.
He's using his thigh whips too. Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
He's using the thigh whips, which is not what I'm referring to.
That's not. So you weren't referring to the blitz?
No. What? Do you not know there's multiple statements of him getting faster?
No, that's not what he says. His says fiercer. His attacks got faster again. You could say that. His attacks got faster again, baby, because he got more angry to the fact that they're able to keep up with him. Maybe that's an interpretation you can use, but it's not stronger. It just says fiercer. So, and obviously, and we the
Gyomei thing, right? The one you're quote unquote referring to.
I know the Gyomei thing. Yes, I know.
Yes, that his attacks is getting fiercer.
Yeah,
his attacks are getting
fiercer. Wait a minute. His attacks are getting fiercer because he starts whipping them vigorously. Obviously, if you understand my wait a minute, bro. Obviously, if you understand my argument, you understand again why this is not a defeater. He can obviously have access to higher levels of power because he's already above them considerably. But the fact of the matter is, he is still getting progressively weaker and slower. So this still progressive, weaker and slower Muzan can still be so much above them. When he puts more effort into doing something, it would obviously still appear that he's beating their ass. But we know, he knows, and a person that made the drug knows that he's progressively getting weaker and slower. But that's not that hard to understand, bro.
Oh my god, he does not know this. Every time
I'm talking about after the fact, bro.
After the
he
fact,
literally notices at the end. Wait, he notices at the end. Then he says that explains why that they were able to keep up with me. So now he gives an explanation to why earlier they were able to weave and dodge him. Obviously, you're trying to say that this nigga his stats have to stay stagnant. He doesn't have no better techniques. He doesn't have a different type of style he can use. That's completely retarded. Obviously, what I think is happening here, which I think is supposed to be interpreted, they start jumping him. He gets annoyed. So now his shit got fiercer. We obviously see he's whipping it in a different way that he's never been whipping it before. Obviously, since he's already above them and he's putting more effort into it, he says his attacks got faster. I'm being pressed back. Then he says, I'll be overwhelmed first. I wasn't even the slightest bit useful here. I'm only dodging by pure luck and instinct. I can't see them all. I can't see the attacks because he starts whipping it more viciously. But it does not change the fact that he's still getting slower and weaker, bro. He can have access to higher techniques. Like, that doesn't change anything, bro.
Deadboy, what higher techniques? All he's doing is swinging around whips. What technique?
What do you think a technique is, bro?
I think a technique would have to be defined as a named attack.
I don't think so. That's not what a technique is at all. But the way I'm using it, though, a technique is just a way of carrying out a particular task. That's how I'm using it. So he's just carrying out this task differently. He's obviously getting more fiercer and getting more angry. Obviously, if I were to punch someone regularly, or if I punch someone with more anger, the force would be different. He's obviously getting mad based off the fact that they're able to keep up with him. That's why he's getting angry. He starts attacking more fiercer, so then it affects him. This does not defeat my argument at all. It actually supports it. He's just so much above them. It angers him, so he goes into a higher technique. That's all it is.
It angers him.
It's not. You know what I mean, bro.
That's what you just said, dog.
I mean, okay. Well, you're gonna argue about like this, or we're gonna like move on?
No,
I'm not gonna keep
about this. I just wanted to highlight what you said. But
Okay.
Deadboy, right? So if you think that technique is just like a different way of doing a task, if he's so-called getting slower, right, but he has higher levels of speed, and that it's pointed out that his attacks are getting faster by the narrator itself, or getting fiercer, and that the characters note that it's getting faster as well, as inclined with fiercer, then saying that his attacks just are like, if you're saying that his speed is just on like a linear degress, and it can't just fluctuate by it getting faster due to what the narrator states.
Bro, but I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna. This is the last time I'm gonna explain myself. This is the last time I'm gonna reiterate this argument. Muzan is already considerably above the Hashira. He's already considerably above them. So no matter what, he's still faster and stronger than them. But they're able to keep up with him because of the fact that he's getting slower and weaker, which the series verbatim tells us that. That does not mean, however, he does not have access to higher levels of attacks or different techniques that would cause him to act differently. So it doesn't matter what he's doing. He's still above them throughout the whole fight, but he can access a technique which allows him to use a different task differently. Like, what the hell? It's not that.
Wait,
literally.
That wouldn't make sense then. If he's above them the whole
It makes sense. It makes sense.
Wait.
It makes sense, bro.
No, it doesn't. Let me explain why. If he's above them the whole time, right? If it's above them throughout the fight, why would he need to access a higher level of speed?
Because he's progressively getting slower and weaker, and he's obviously not above them to a level. You're not understanding my argument. He's not above them to a point where he can just kill them, one shot them. Like he points that out. He says, "I never failed to finish someone off twice." He says, "This explains why I was struggling with them earlier." So he obviously gets irritated, so he gets more fiercer with his attacks. So he's already above them, but he's not above them to a point where he can just take their fucking head off. Like, what the hell? He has to go into a different form of technique, which you agreed to. He had to use his thigh whips to then blitz them, which his thigh whips are verbatim stated to be faster than his regular whips. Like, what the hell? We can move on. I'm not gonna debate something on top of like this for an hour, bro. I already said what I had to say. I think I won.
It's not okay. Let me just explain why it's not a linear degress like you're trying to say it is.
It's stated, like verbatim stated.
Unless
like I said,
it's like contradicted.
It's never contradicted at all. It's just you're not understanding. If it's contradicted and if it's stated, if my argument doesn't make sense, then I would just lose, right? So we can just have the judge do this shit. Cause I'm not about to just argue about like this. I already said this. I've literally said the same thing back and forth this whole time. Yeah, my argument never changed. Your argument never changed. So we can just have Ghetto Gen judge. Cause I'm not wrong. I'm just gonna say the same thing.
You've been listening this whole time? Oh.
Just drag him up here, bro. Hey, Jen, you been listening this whole time, bro?
Yeah, I've been listening.
All right, do you know who won, bro? Like, we can just like speed it up, cause I don't.
Yeah, I think Deadboy won this one.
All right, thank you, bro.
I don't think bro was listening. Why?
Always listening, bro. Always listening. No cap.
All right, matter of fact, before you give your reasoning, does anyone think that, without trolling, bro, does anyone think that Rikuta won? If y'all think that Rikuta won, just come up here and explain why. If not, then we could just have Ghetto Gen give his judgment. It just makes it more easier if you don't think he was listening.
I don't think he was listening.
Okay. So, I looked at the poll. Like, the poll's 12-1. So, I looked at this another poll. It's 48, 3-10. Yeah, so, again, other people think the same thing Ghetto Gen thinks. So, they all share the same thoughts. So, Ghetto Gen, can you just elaborate on your thoughts to why you think I won?
Yeah, I think you bringing up the point where Muzan states himself that him failing to kill them twice. I think that was an excellent point to reinforce what you were saying earlier, with how the drug actually, because this stated the drug was weakening him, and he had to bring out faster techniques, right? Techniques that are faster than his original techniques that literally weren't getting the job done. And he had multiple encounters fighting these Hashira and seeing what they do, and it just wasn't working. So I just do think like Deadboy's overall point just was it had more traction because like what was stated in the show. And, like you were like from what I was seeing, basically you're basically just disagreeing and saying like, well, he didn't know it was still here. He didn't know it was still here. Like I don't think that matters. He knows it's still there. The point is, like Muzan is saying that the stuff from earlier wasn't happening because of this, right? Regardless if he knows or not. He like that just means that he didn't fucking see it earlier. It still did happen though.
What do you want?
Okay.
Wait, Jin, you said that what were you saying?
What I said is that I think Deadboy's overall points and scans. I think it stuck more because it really just made like a bubble, like an unbreakable bubble. Can't break it.
Unbreakable bubble? Why?
Strong, for real. All right, so
I think there was just one important point that they were arguing was maybe the only point I was paying attention to. It was the point regarding whether like they were using performances to dictate whether the character got weaker over time or stronger over time.
No, we weren't doing
and
that.
I think that Rikuta was trying to push the idea that Deadboy's interpretation was nonsensical or contradictory. But then it seems to be that his only reason for even believing such was just a mere appeal to common sense fallacy, rather than an actual explicit showing of a contradiction. And I think Deadboy showed why it's definitely compatible.
Yeah, literally.
That was the only point I was listening to, and I think rhetorically speaking, it was dominant. So yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Apollo. So that's other people that just listen to Rikuta. So unless we're all just biased against you, I don't even be in the server for real. I don't join the server for one reason, bro. So if you think everyone here is biased against you, then so be it. But and there's a recording too, bro. So I don't think these niggas are all gonna lie. But we can. If I win that point, I hope you know why I win the debate. But you do theology. We can do theology later if you want.
Me and you?
I'm talking about Rikuta.
You
Alright,
want me
bro.
to debate on that also? Actually, that would be pretty good for activity. I'm bored anyway, so.
Someone save the recording.
You know what's gonna happen when I debate you, Apollo. You know you. You know.